Okay, so today I want to introduce a special guest of mine. He's a dear friend I've known for so many years now, a long time, actually, almost 10 years if you think about it.
Yeah.
Um, and his name is Yves Domond, and he's a licensed social worker, graduate of Rutgers University. And again, I've known him for such a long time. I asked him to work with us as a counselor at the Five Before Five Foundation in psychology and color in particular, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. And so I'm hoping that he's a face that you're going to see a lot of coming on doing interviews with us and helping communities of color and communities of faith in general. So thank you, Eve, for coming on today.
Thank you for Dr. Ray for inviting me to be part of this excellent vision that you have.
Thank
Because
you.
psychology and color, it's really speaks volume to every minority group and especially to our people.
I agree. Thank you so much, Eve. So today, what I want to talk about is mental health in the Haitian community. Right? You're Haitian yourself.
Yes.
Uh, and I like the observations that you make just about your journey, your experience culturally, as an individual, but then also as a therapist in your community, as a man of faith in your community. So, I'm always so interested in picking your brain. If you can talk a little bit about just kind of growing up as a young boy, as a young man, what were the conversations around mental health like when you were younger, and how have they started to change as you grew into adulthood and you settled into your profession as a social worker?
Okay. Very good question. Well, growing up in Haiti as a young boy, majority of Haitians are Catholic, Roman Catholic. So my parents were Catholic, and that played a very essential role. But when it comes to mental health, Haitian culture uh, usually use home remedy for everything that they have that's wrong with them. So they believe in essential oil or herbal medicine, and also most of them also do not believe, unfortunately, that mental health or psychosis or depression, anxiety. I didn't grow up seeing that at all in Haiti because
Mm,
there's a sense of community. Mostly when someone is sick or something is bad, if the medical profession, as far as physical, does not provide prescription or medication, they think it's an evil spirit that's taking place.
yeah.
So they think it's voodoo that someone is doing something, someone else doesn't like you doing harm to you. So that's the mindset that the point of reference that they usually go by.
Okay, and those were the conversations that you saw being had in your family growing up, right?
Right. Hmm.
So, number one, has that changed over time? And if it has, how has it changed over time?
It has changed very for to a small percentage with the Haitians American that come here that's educated and also uh, that understand a little bit more about, it's like, especially we're living in a time where, it's like social economics, there's unrest, there's a lot of pressure on society. So
Hmm.
folks now understand, uh, the mentality that I need to address those issues because, uh, granted, yes, we survive oppression, we survive, it's like slavery, but we still need to do mental health because just the same way you attend to your physical need, the same way you get dressed in the morning, you brush your teeth, your mind is also something very, and spiritual, is
Hmm.
something very critical that you need to address as well. So in the Haitian community, it's the young educated one, not so much the parents, but the kids that are born and raised here more are aware and more willing to go to counseling. Also, you have to remember in Haiti, the folks that able to go to counseling are these folks that we consider to be elite, that really have money. They're not just
Mm.
survivors. They're not just middle class. That people really got a chance to be part of the upper class of the community in Haiti.
So you're talking about mental health much like the way that it was, before the 80s,
Correct.
right? In the United States, right?
Correct.
Where therapy, it was a fad. Everybody had a therapist, whether you kind of needed one or not. And it was people middle class and down didn't really have access to it. Not even that it wasn't necessarily culturally an option, but even if it was culturally something that people were really aware of, they didn't have the means to
Correct.
take advantage of it too.
Yes, because mostly what's more important is the basic necessity. Maslow hierarchy. It's like, as make sure I have shelter and make sure I have food.
Correct.
That's a luxury you're almost looking at. It's also a fun concept also,
Mm-hmm.
like in Haiti or even in a Haitian community. Unless you're educated, you have extra, they look at it, then you can explore that possibility.